The first thing I want to examine is which lenses these cameras are compatible with. With both cameras, you can use Canon EF and EFS lenses like the Canon EF 50mm f1.8 and the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens. You can also choose from a wide variety of third-party lenses, making your options nearly endless. If you're interested, you can check out reviews for these lenses and more on my channel. You can find the links below or click the card in the top right corner. Next up, what about storage? Do either of these cameras have a dual SD card slot? The 7D Mark II has this feature, yes, but the T5 does not. Having a dual SD card slot gives you the ability to save each photo on both cards simultaneously, creating backups in real time. This feature is usually only found on high-end cameras and not on entry-level or mid-level cameras. If you work as a professional photographer, having this feature is particularly useful, as you can still recover your photos from the second card even if one card fails. Although the occurrence of SD card failures is quite rare, having multiple SD cards that you alternate between can reduce the risk. Moreover, you have the option to skip the backup function and utilize each card individually to increase your storage capacity twofold. Cool, so do they have connectivity features? Neither the Canon 7D Mark II nor the Canon 1200D has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth or NFC capabilities. Expanding on that, is their physical size an issue? The dimensions of the 7D Mark II are 148.6 by 112.4 by 78.2 mm, or 5.85 by 4.43 by 3.08 inches, with an approximate weight of 820 grams, or 28.92 ounces. In comparison, the T5 is around 129.6 by 99.7 by 77.9 mm, or 5.1 by 3.93 by 3.07 inches, with an approximate weight of 480 grams or 16.93 ounces. Despite the slight differences in weight, both cameras share a similar physical size, resulting in a compact design. How about build quality? The 7D Mark II is constructed using magnesium alloy, giving it a sturdier build than the T5, which is made of carbon fiber, glass fiber, and polycarbonate resin. Moving on to a related point, what about screens? Both cameras have fixed screens on the back that can be used to navigate menus and review photos. However, these screens are not able to flip around for vlogging. The 7D Mark II has an extra feature, a small LCD on the top. This LCD not only looks cool, but it also allows quick and easy access to check camera settings. While some may not like the appearance of this LCD screen, I personally really like it. Okay, so both of these cameras can do quite a bit. How long do they function before they run out of battery? The LPE6N battery on the 7D Mark II can give you roughly 650 shots, while the T5 has an LPE10 battery that provides approximately 500 photos. However, various factors can influence battery life, such as screen usage, battery age, and air temperature. It's recommended to have spare batteries with you, particularly when other people are involved. By the way, if you find this video to be helpful, you can help me out by liking this video. Also, if you'd like to buy any of the items mentioned in this review, you can find affiliate links down below. Right, so can the 7D Mark II and the T5 take good photos? When taking pictures, the lens you choose greatly impacts the outcome, but let's just talk about the camera's role since I don't know which lens you will be using. First, we can look at the sensors. The 7D Mark II has a 20.2 megapixel 22.4 by 15mm APS-C sensor, while the T5 has an 18 megapixel 22.3 by 14.9mm APS-C sensor. The processor is another important factor. The 7D Mark II is equipped with the Digic 6 processor, while the T5 has the Digic 4. While the 6th Digic generation introduced several improvements, such as better performance in low light, less delay compared to earlier models, 1080p at 60 fps, and more. In the 4th generation, you will notice faster image processing as compared to older models. There is also improved noise reduction in high ISO images and 1080p video recording using H.264. Speaking of ISO, the 7D Mark II can cover a range of 100 to 16,000, which can be expanded up to 51,200. In contrast, the T5's ISO range is limited to 100 to 6400, which can be extended to 12800. Keeping ISO on the lower end is generally advisable to avoid unwanted noise in your photos. What about autofocus? The 7D Mark II provides a maximum of 65 autofocus points, whereas the T5 only has 9 autofocus points. So are either of them equipped with dual pixel AF? Well, the 7D Mark II does have it, while the T5 does not. Having dual pixel AF and a higher number of autofocus points means better autofocusing, which can be incredibly helpful, especially in situations where something's happening and you need to take a photo fast. Now, what about shutter speed? If you want to capture fast-moving subjects, can these cameras do that? The 7D Mark II has a maximum shutter speed of 1/8000th of a second, while the T5 can do 1/4000th. What if you want to do sports or wildlife photography, and thus you need to take loads of photos quickly? If that's the case, you're looking for continuous shooting mode. In this mode, the 7D Mark II can do 10 FPS, while the T5 can do 3 FPS. In other words, within 1 second, the 7D Mark II captures 10 photos, while the T5 only captures 3. This is useful if your aim is to capture very fast motion. The more frames your camera can capture within a second, the higher the odds you will obtain the exact photograph you are looking for. Right, so do they produce good video? The 7D Mark II has the ability to capture 1080p video at 60 FPS, while the T5 can only offer 1080p video at 30 FPS and 720p video at 60 FPS. Now, do either of these cameras stabilize footage? Nope, neither of them have IBIS. Now, most cameras offer digital stabilization, but as a general rule, you should stay away from that. Also, neither camera has the Canon log feature that high-end models have to offer, which provides a wider dynamic range to your camera. You have the option to experiment with the in-body digital IS, however, it is not very effective in most cases. Moreover, the IS effect gets melded into the video, leaving you no choice for a backup video without it. It's not a worthwhile option in most cases. The best strategy is to record unsteady footage and later stabilize it using software such as Premiere. If you desire optical stabilization, you can opt for a lens like the Canon EFS 18-55mm kit lens with IS in the name. This lens comes with in-lens stabilization, which is preferable to in-camera digital stabilization. You can watch lens reviews on my channel to explore more lens options. Access the playlist via the link below or click the card in the top right corner. Moving on to a related point, can you use either of these cameras for vlogging? At this point, pretty much any camera can be used for that purpose, but there are a few issues to bear in mind. First off, having a flip screen is ideal, so you can see what you're doing when the camera is turned around. Regrettably, these two cameras lack the feature of a flip screen. Without this feature, vlogging becomes challenging. Also, the absence of a flip screen might cause damage to the glass screen while carrying the camera in your bag. The type of sensor used in the cameras is an essential aspect to consider as well. Both cameras have APS-C sensors, causing the image to be more zoomed in comparison to full-frame sensors. Taking this into account, it is better to use lenses with shorter focal lengths. As the camera's crop factor plays a role, most lenses could be too zoomed in for handheld vlogging. For that purpose, you can utilize the 18-55mm kit lens, which can be zoomed all the way out to capture more content in frame. Plus, if you opt for the version with IS, it will result in smoother video footage. This option is great for most situations. Another choice is the Canon 24mm pancake lens, which is also wide enough for handheld vlogging. However, keep in mind that this lens does not come with any IS, and that will result in shakier footage. If you're thinking of shooting content using a camera on a tripod, the suggested lenses will vary significantly. The 18-55mm and the 24mm lenses may not be the best option. Rather, it's recommended to consider the Canon EF 50mm f1.4 or f1.8 lenses. These lenses have wider apertures that allow in more light, making them suitable for various lighting conditions. They also produce smoother bokeh, that sought-after out-of-focus background. However, these lenses aren't suitable for handheld vlogging due to being too zoomed in and they lack IS. You can check out reviews of all the lenses mentioned on my channel by finding the playlist below or clicking the card in the top right corner. Now, how durable are these lenses? So the 7D Mark II has water and dust resistant sealing, while the T5 has no weather sealing. You should handle the camera carefully and keep it away from the elements. So, cameras have a limitation on their number of actuations, with the 7D Mark II rated at 200,000 and the T5 at around 100,000. An actuation is equal to one photo taken. Mathematically speaking, if you take an average of 10 photos per day, a 200,000 actuation camera would last approximately 54 years, while a 10,000 actuation camera would last nearly 27 years. Assuming that you begin with no photos, it's probable that other parts of the camera will malfunction before reaching either of these photo limits. Remember to adjust this number if you're purchasing a used camera. Always verify how many pictures have been captured by the device prior to purchasing it. What are the intended purposes of these cameras? Both of them are suitable for various types of photography such as portrait, street, product, landscape, wedding, event, and documentary work. It's important to note that the lens selection is more crucial than the camera for achieving the desired outcome in these photography genres. If you want to take pictures of sports and wildlife, there are more things to consider besides your lens choice. It's better to have a fast shutter speed and high FPS in continuous shooting mode. The 7D Mark II can do up to 10 FPS and the T5 can only do 3 FPS as mentioned earlier. The 7D Mark II has a maximum shutter speed of 1/8000th of a second, while the T5 can do 1/4000th. I hope this review has been helpful. If you're curious about the cost of these lenses in your area, there are affiliate links down below for your convenience. If you'd like to check out more reviews, you can either look down below for relevant links or click the card in the top right corner. Do you have any questions? Feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.